I firmly believe the NCAA has zero clue how to handle the situation. Like they're totally lost, as they probably should be.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Subject to Change is here, and that is my corny intro. I'm joined today by not Overtime Tom. So if you're missing Overtime Tom, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go a week without him. We brought in Rick Carter, Dustin McGuire, and Dan Pohlman. They're all gonna tell you who they are right now. And this whole podcast is an open conversation about name, image, and likeness, the hot button topic right now. Rick, you wanna jump in, go introduction first?
Yeah, for sure. Rick Carter, former Division I college assistant, kind of here just to represent the NCAA and then the college coaches side of you.
Dustin McGuire, I'm a sports law attorney in Southern Illinois, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri. Played college basketball at St. Louis University and transferred to Northern Kentucky University. Was a graduate assistant coach through law school. And I'm the founder of NameImageLikeness.com, providing legal and compliance services to college athletes.
I'm Daniel Poneman, co-founder at Beyond Athlete Management, NBA and NFL agency based in Chicago and Los Angeles. And I'm also an NBA agent, NBPA certified for 5 years.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys taking time out today.
I guess my advice to players, because right now it's kind of going to be this first year a little bit of the Wild West. No one knows what the hell's going on except for maybe Dustin. I'm thrilled Dustin's on this call because I was doing my reading up on the different stuff before this call, and I'm not a lawyer, so I'm thrilled Dustin's here. But yeah, advice I would give to players would be, you don't really know who you can trust, but the three things you can check are they NBA, NBPA, and NFLPA certified? Are they NCAA certified? And are they registered in your state? Which is probably going to be a really key one for this NIL stuff. The states don't mess around with non-certified, non-registered agents.
So you're talking specifically the agency, because there will be that was a worry right when I saw this. So you have kids on Instagram, and I say kids, I mean, these are my peers. I got guys on Instagram, girls on Instagram, posting stories that say something along the lines of, July 1, this NIL bill passes. Let me know if you want to use my Instagram or socials or do brand deals. My DMs are open. I'm like, that just you should be able to read that and be like, this doesn't sound like this is the NCAA. This doesn't sound like it aligns with how official this is really going to look.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw that post that was going around. It was like white text on a black background. Everyone was copying.
Yes.
First off, it's funny because there was a typo, I think, in that, and everyone sharing the same screen. And I saw one of my clients who's testing the waters posted. I'm like, bro, take that down. First off, no, if you're college students, if you're gonna do deals, have some type of advisor who knows what they're doing. It's the same thing as if a player was going to the NBA or going overseas and said, hey, teams, hit my DMs, I'm open for business. No, you get an agent, you get an advisor, someone who knows what they're doing to help you. Another thing that's going to happen, I guarantee, players are going to start taking deals. They're going to start making money. They're going to not understand how taxes work. We're going to see college players end up getting chased down by the IRS because they brought in 6 figures of revenue and didn't know that they had to pay taxes on it, because it's not like when you work at McDonald's and they withhold your tax money. You get 1099, you have to pay your taxes at the end of the year. So there's a lot of complications with guys just saying, hey, hit my DMs, I'm open for business. And honestly, college players, especially for these first few years, even if you're using an agent, run all your deals through the compliance department at your school. Make sure when you get a deal, whether it's through an agent, an advisor, whoever, just check with the compliance department that it's cool, because the last thing you want is to lose your eligibility because you didn't understand the rules.
And supposedly that's mandatory, right? They have to do that. They have to go through compliance to get it approved.
As far as the disclosure and reporting to the institution, that's a huge part of it. And I think that's really a major reason why individual representation is going to be so critical. I'm really excited to see all the NIL programs that are coming around to the different schools, but I think when you get into the issue of a potential conflicting contract, coupled with that requirement to disclose to university, Jordan, I saw UNLV has 85 sponsors or something like that. So it's hard to imagine an area where there could be an endorsement or any money-making opportunity where there's not a potential conflict, right? And if that's just a dead end, right? Oh, sorry, your NIL deal is conflict, it's conflicting with the university's contract. If that's a dead end, then it's not worth anything. There has to be some sort of analyzing and problem solving and working through potential conflicts to make sure that there is not in fact a conflict, so the NIL deal can go through for the athlete's financial benefit.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And that's what I worried about as soon as I saw this. Really, the Instagram story was the first reason I'm like, okay, look, like people need to hear this conversation so we can protect guys who are way too damn talented to end up being audited at halftime in March Madness. You don't want to, get pulled off the court because you messed up your taxes. So
you're not going to be able to rock your own, sponsored gear. And you're also not going to be, to Dan's point, able to use the marks of the school. The intellectual property of the schools is incredibly valuable to them. I think, eventually we'll get there. And I think, the schools will soon realize that, hey, it will benefit them to work with the athletes. I'm not going to get into the spiel of the video games, but that's a good example, where the school's brand will benefit through the exposure that the athletes will bring.
If you have a big enough project, like let's say you're going to do a YouTube show with your roommates, why shouldn't you be able to license the logo of the university that you're at? You just pay them for it. That's how business works, right? Like at the end of the day, you say, okay, we're going to license that logo and be able to use it. And they do a deal with you just like they do with other sponsors.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not sure. I think it's likely that will be possible. But yeah, how many college kids are going to
Zero.
represent?
If I'm doing a YouTube video out there and I have the choice between wearing, this T-shirt from Overtime, shameless plug, or a UNLV shirt, no offense to my school, but if I have to pay for one and don't have to pay for the other, I'm not wearing UNLV.
But Jordan, why is that? That's because Overtime has a bigger following worldwide, right? So it's worth it financially. But if it's worth it financially to actually pay the licensing fee to wear the Michigan State logo, then that's what you do. It's called business. And it goes back to the point that you just said before. These kids have no clue what they're getting themselves into. Like being an influencer is a full-time job. Like you have to influence, like you have to put content out there that actually moves people. And guess what, guys? They don't care about you playing basketball. They want to know about the stuff that you do when you're not playing basketball. So you got to give up your life, which is again, a full-time job. So like, I don't think people really get that part of it. I think it's going to be all null and void in a year. I think some guys are going to make money and a lot of people aren't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dan.
To that point, Rick, I saw a TikTok recently that one of our employees at Beyond showed me that went viral, where it was like a college athlete basically saying that most college athletes' Instagrams go by a formula of picture of me and Drake quote. It's a picture of you playing your sport or a picture of you in a cool outfit and then you put a Drake quote, right? And that's cool and you get followers, but it's not engaging. What Jordan here does is what's going to make money. You engage with your followers, right. You can trust with your followers, they listen to you, they trust you, they like you, and then you can tell them, hey, I like this product or I like this restaurant. That's how, so if guys aren't willing to take the time, everyone wants to be too cool for school. Right. If you're not taking the time to engage with your audience and build trust with your audience, you're not going to be able to sell them on a product. And I think a lot of athletes that I've talked to are misinformed on how much money you can actually get for a social media post if you have 10, 20, 50, 100,000 followers. They think the money's going to rain from the sky, and it really doesn't work that way. Hopefully the NCAA, passes some type of temporary rule, because if really just these few states have this massive advantage over these, like California, I think is one of those 18 states, but they're not till like 2023. So if you have Texas and Arizona, guys can make money, and California you can't. That's the end of the Pac-12. Pac-12 football, basketball is going down the drain because those guys can't make money. NCAA is going to have to do something to level the playing field, or else it's going to be a huge shift in power. And to add to that, there's obviously the big brands. There's I mentioned 85 sponsors, UNLV. There's these big brands and the big, the Zion Williamsons, the Cade Cunninghams are going to be getting Nike deals and Gatorade deals. But I predict, and I think most people think, the majority of these deals are going to be micro deals. It's not going to be macro deals. It's going to be the basketball player at South Dakota with 15,000 followers is going to get $900 to post about a promotion at the local Buffalo Wild Wings. It's going to be guys making, guys and girls making $10,000 to $50,000 a year. If college athletes, if you're not a superstar and you think you're going to make hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, that's not the case. There aren't big companies. Nike's not going to be lining up to pay $10,000 a post for the fourth best player at a SEC basketball program, but there are going to be local deals, and there's going to be opportunities to make money from autograph signings. There's going to be opportunities to make money from appearances and things like that. Even if there are, you're explaining, Dustin, conflicts with the brands and the team sponsors, and also there's gonna be conflicts with using the school trademarks. I'm still not totally clear on this, Dustin, where it's like, I don't think guys aren't going to be able to be in advertisements that use, I'm sure, Dustin, you can expand on this, that use school trademarks. So like I can't post an ad on my Instagram with a UNLV logo. I can do my picture, but not with the logo. So there are these limitations, but there's still going to be a lot of money to be made on the local micro level.
Okay, so I'd like each one of you guys to do me a favor. Now I'm going to say influencer. And who comes to mind? Like, who's the most popular influencer that each one of you know?
Go ahead, Dan.
Jordan McCabe.
Hey, woo! Bryce Hall. I don't know why that came to my head.
Okay, Bryce Hall. That's one. Go ahead.
Honestly, Dave Portnoy is probably the
Great.
He can make.
Who do you got, Dustin?
Move.
If we're just talking broadly, not sports specific, I would say Kim Kardashian.
There you go.
And what do all of those people have in common? They all have drama, right? They all have drama in their lives, and they all like put it all over social media because that's why people are attracted to it, correct? So now let's put this in the athletic perspective. So in order to really get popular in name, image, and likeness and really make money, you have to put things out there that are drama filled. And as an athletic department or as a coach, that's the worst thing that you want, because Daniel, you just said it, that's going to hurt you from getting drafted. So at the end of the day, the thing that you're really good at, that's going to hurt you if you put that kind of stuff out there. Well, if you don't, you're not really popular.
Right.
So we just saw it at Wisconsin. They recorded Greg Gard's talk and they put it out there public. And I give the kids a lot of credit for going and talking about that. I thought it was awesome. But like those kind of situations are going to become normal because that gets you more followers. In turn, that makes you more money.
Yeah, that's an interesting juxtaposition. It's like, is a team going to be more likely to want you because you have a big following that you're taking to that league or that team, or less likely to want you because you have this big following and you're perceived as a distraction? And I think with each organization, each league, it's going to be different.
And Danny, you've been around enough really good players to know this, right? How many high-level college basketball coaches that have been doing this for a long time really want to have all of their practices, everything recorded? Like all these dudes would get fired if that all got out there.
Yeah, no.
And it's going to have to be for those dudes to make money.
Totally. I can just imagine it now, like the kids on Instagram, like, yeah, coach really laid into us today. He really cursed out our point guard. Like, you know, that's the stuff that's going to get viral, but that's the stuff that's going to get you kicked off the team. It's a tough, yeah. I mean, but that's a world we're living in now, that nothing's a secret anymore.
My biggest fear is that the main thing has to continue to be the main thing. Like, you know, for athletes that are listening, especially younger kids, whether they're in high school, middle school, that are going to grow up and live in this new world of college athletics where they can make money. Let's get one thing really, really straight. And if you don't have somebody telling you this already, you'll hear it eventually. If you in high school aren't putting up the numbers or, you know, putting in the work and the hours and the, you know, even give yourself an opportunity to play at the college level. And then once you get there, like Daniel said early, if you're not the top 1, 2, 3 guys maybe on a team, your potential to even make any money off this stuff is null and void anyways. So don't even worry about it. Your best chance is to keep the main thing as the main thing, and the main thing being whatever sport you are playing at a collegiate level. As soon as you slip, and I'm worried, and it's fun. Like I just started journaling, okay, and I just throw all my thoughts down on the paper. And last night I was sitting there and that's what I wrote. The main thing has to stay the main thing. Once this does pass, there's going to be guys who get distracted. I mean, distractions are everywhere, but this is going to be a big one. So for you to now have this open as a college athlete, the main thing has to be putting in the work to perform at the highest. Otherwise, your marketability is nothing. So it doesn't even matter at the end of the day. So that's a very important point, because there seems to be a lot of delusion surrounding what this may or may not look like. So before,
well said, Jordan. Well said.
Yo, fam, was really good. Overtime Fits got so much heat dropping this year. If you're trying to get dripped out like your guy, all you gotta do is click right here and stay tuned to all the new drops, all right?